Welcome back to Clark and Addison, Born into the Ivy. I'm your host, David, and I'm going to just have a brief little episode here about some of the conversations, comments made by Jed Hoyer and Carter Hawkins this week. They talked a lot about at the GM meetings and so forth. They're really not going to go after a whole lot of hitting. They're going after pitching. I'm hearing conflicted reports, but Jed indicated that they will be in the market at the top end of the market in possible trades and or for starting pitching free agents. Or he just said pitching, so maybe bullpen as well. I would love to see them get a big closer. Not like stupid, like spending $25 million a year on a closer. That's not what I'm saying. But a proven closer who can come in and help stabilize some of that back end. Daniel Palencia, I think, deserves a chance. But, I mean, who knows how that's going to go with injuries and everything. You need more than one guy. You need multiple guys. Porter Hodge, hopefully he bounces back. But the Porter Hodge that we saw last year isn't ready to do that. Palencia might be, but I like Daniel Palencia as an eighth inning guy, too. Or a guy that just comes in and when you really need to miss some bats, misses bats. That's what he was great at doing in the postseason. That's why he came in earlier, because he came in at big moments that the starters had gotten in a little bit of trouble, and he was able to help get out of that most of the time. There was one time that he didn't. 8 games. I mean, he was in most of those games. But my bigger thing is the philosophy, and we'll talk to Eli about this some too, what he thinks. The philosophy that the Cubs seem to have is we want to just try and win 88 to 92 games. Hope to get into that postseason, and then we'll see what happens. And we want to do that every year. And I love the idea of being in this every year. But at some point, like right now, we're getting ready to go into 2026, and there's an expected work stoppage at some point in 27. Or at the beginning of the year. Nobody knows if there's going to be a season. Nobody knows. Like a lot of people are saying that there's some optimism that there's going to be some kind of season, but it'll probably be a shortened season. Nobody just there's so much up in the air, and the Cubs have so much financial flexibility past 26. Why not go all in? Why not make this a year where you want to win that World Series? And at the very least, you want to be the NL representative. I'm not saying go spend $1 billion in contracts. I don't think that that's necessarily something we have to do. We have some really good starting pitching already, but we need high-end starting pitching who can miss bats. Justin Steele can miss bats. Cade Horton can miss bats. I don't know of a whole lot of others who consistently will do that. Matthew Boyd can at times, but it's not where he excels. Jameson Taillon certainly doesn't excel at that, but he does excel at a lot. He's had a couple of really good years. But if Jameson Taillon ends up being R5, or you just want to say Cade Horton is R5 or whatever, that's pretty freaking awesome, man. We need to go in with 6 awesome starters. And if Jameson or Cade or Matthew Boyd is that 5 and 6, we're in really good position. So if they're not going to spend on offense like they're saying too much, like they're going to get some bench players here and there and whatever, then they need to go for a couple of high-end starters and some nicer bullpen pieces. In which case, I would talk to them in the last episode that I didn't think we were going to be in a Brad Keller deal. If they're willing to spend more money, bring Brad Keller back. Because I think that he is willing to sign for a little less, but still more than what the Cubs probably were initially wanting to do. If he could stay in Chicago. The dude loved pitching in Chicago, and the dude excelled pitching in Chicago. And with this pitching infrastructure, I think it's a really good infrastructure. I think that it is improving quite a bit. It's possible that they bring in somebody like Kyle Hendricks to help with that. That dude is a genius with it. And they've already got a lot of really good guys, good, intelligent guys in that. They need to bring in another guy that they identify, or a couple of guys like Brad Keller. You know they're out there. Act cheap. I get it. Like, we need to do that too. But we also need to get a better foundation when there's only one guy in that bullpen who is guaranteed a bullpen spot. That's not good, guys. Like, they need to spend a little money to help do that if we're not adding offense. Because you're taking – I know everybody wanted to blame or, like, pile on Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker, blah, 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 blah. That's not a bat that's easy to replace. What he did last year, in the totality of the year especially, is not a bat that's easy to replace, folks. If the Cubs had not played the way they did April to June, they would not have made the playoffs where they did. That's just a fact, Jack. They have got to improve the pitching, and they've got to improve the swing and miss stuff with the pitching. So they need higher velocity. They need higher, just more impact pitching, especially if we're not adding offense. Tell me your thoughts. Eli and I'll be back soon to talk more in depth and more specifically some of the free agents that we might be able to get and things like that. Have a great day. Smash the subscribe button, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Help grow this podcast, boys and girls. Thank you.